We served a young woman when she was in grade school, and she had had a very difficult time within the public school setting, was spending a lot of time in a seclusion room outside of her classroom, and was really struggling. She came to our extended day treatment program and spent the better part of a year with us and learned so many skills. She came back to us because she wanted to find her handprint, and last year at our Gourmet Comfort Classic, she shared her story. She's now a young adult living on her own, and said that many of the things she learned in her time with us are still practices that she uses today and have really helped to guide her towards success.
Really the success in this story and working with this little girl and her mom is that the mom herself had trauma. And this isn't uncommon to a lot of the work that we do and things that we see in families. And the mom, she didn't know how to play with her daughter. She didn't know how to interact with her. She knew how to get her ready for her day and to get her places. She knew how to feed her. She knew how to tickle her, make her laugh, with things, but they were really more grown-up interactions. And this little 5 or 6 year old, she had a lot of grown-up things about her. She really wanted to be the boss, and that's not terribly uncommon of a 5 or a 6 year old, but it was a different level, and mom just didn't know how to get down on the floor and play with her. She didn't know what to do. And so there were a lot of behavioral outbursts. There was tantrums. There was aggression from the 5, 6 year old. She was having problems in daycare, to the point that daycare was saying, we're not sure that we're going to be able to continue to have her. Well, if she couldn't go to daycare, mom couldn't go to work. If mom couldn't go to work, mom couldn't pay her bills. Mom couldn't pay her bills. They were no longer going to be able to live in the independent living that they had just achieved in the early part of the work that we were doing with them in therapy. So this was critical. What are we going to do? How are we going to figure this out? So we did a lot of work with mom and providing education and helping her to know it's okay to step back and have fun with your daughter. You've got to learn to play. You've got to be able to sit with her and and just do those things. And so we worked through the whole process and used the parent-child interaction therapy techniques with her and helped her, and she breezed through this. She aced this. She was so good at
So we had John come through the program, who was a 10-year-old boy who had been through several other treatment options already before he came to us. Was in a specialized school setting, had reduced his school hours to not the typical hours that other children go to. He had been through a few different foster placements and had finally found a home that was willing to kind of stick it out with him and work through some things. So he was in our program several months. The typical length of stay is about 4 to 6 months, maybe 5 to 6 months, and he was here for 6 to 7 months. He had been, like I said, had moved around to a few different placements, but was able to find stability here for treatment, and that helped in the home also. So he received all of his individual group and family therapy work here. And while he was here, he was able to lengthen his school day, so he was able to be at school more often. He was able to eventually transition out into the regular school setting again from the specialized school setting.